this lesson, we will discuss how to start your plants from seeds. For tomatoes, you should start the seedling preparation approximately 45 to 50 days before the expected transplanting date. As we said in the first lesson of this section, our little tomato plants need approximately 50 days from the date that we put the seed into the soil until they are ready to be moved to the permanent place in our garden or balcony. Make sure you don't start too early, as your plants won't be too happy staying in their tiny pots for too long. On the other hand, starting late is okay, but you will miss some of those juicy tomatoes that you will produce, as your growing period will be shorter. To start with, the potting mix to start your seeds should be light. This means that it shouldn't hold much water. While our plants are tiny, it is much safer for them to have less water than having their feet constantly wet. More dry conditions will make your plants stronger, as long as you watch them, of course, and you don't let them die. A mix of coco peat and perlite is the best, and you can add a very small quantity of manure or compost in your mix to boost the growth of more leaves and stems in your plants. Mix your materials and spray the mix with some water to offer some humidity. I have tried different options of seedling trays, and I have found that a cheap option for my seedlings, the pots that I have left from the seasonal plants that I planted in the garden. However, they can hold too much water for a tiny plant, and if we don't pay attention, the plants can get too long. So seedling trays are the best option if you think you might mess up with watering. Another great option, which costs a bit more, is the use of coconut pots, which are biodegradable and allow the seedlings to be planted in them while the stress of moving from the pots is avoided. Next step is to place 2 to 3 seeds per pot or per seedling tray square, as far as possible away from each other. You will not need more than 3 seeds per pot. Sprinkle some soil on top of your seeds and give some water again. Don't make your soil very wet. If you're unsure, it is better to offer less water and then add than having added too much water. You can't take back too much water, while you can add more if it is missing. Once everything is set, soil in pots, seeds in the soil, soil on top of the seeds, place your seedlings in a tray or a box and cover with plastic or cheesecloth. Place your pots in semi-shade or in not a very bright spot or even a dark spot for 4 days, and only have an occasional look in case the pots dry, which they won't if they're covered with plastic. After the 5th day, start checking closely your pots every day or even twice a day. Preferably, you shouldn't uncover them, but you might have to if you're unsure about the pot's humidity. It is very important not to let the pots dry. Whenever you see a plant emerging, take the pot out and place it near to a very sunny window or under grow lights if you're using grow lights. 2 weeks after emergence, you will have an idea of which plants do well and which ones don't. Since you will have probably 2 plants per pot, you can select the weaker one and move it to a separate pot. They might survive, or maybe they won't. As long as the stronger plants remain in the initial pot and they keep growing, then these weaker plants will be a bonus. Tomato plants need approximately 50 days until they're ready for transplanting, so they will definitely need some food during this period. Starting 1 to 2 weeks after emergence, you can start adding a little bit of compost to your plants. Just sprinkle some on top, or a 20-20-20 at 1/4 of the regular dose. As your plants get bigger and stronger and you get closer to the transplanting date, approximately 10 days before your expected transplanting date, start taking your plants outdoor for a few hours every day, early in the morning or late in the evening, and don't start by placing them out under the hot midday sun. Increase slowly the time they spend outdoor. This procedure is called hardening, and the idea is to acclimatize your plants to the hot outdoor conditions. The whole procedure can last approximately 10 days until you can see that your plants are actually doing well under the hot midday heat. And if they wilt, then they recover when the temperature cools down. When this happens, your plants are ready for transplanting in the permanent position. Following this starting from seeds procedure, you can move on with lesson 3 of section 2, the transplanting time.